And joining us now is Johnny Nicholas. He is a McRoof solution specialist and solar team lead.
Good to be here.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, that whole roof solar.
You're talking about the Sunstyle.
The Sunstyle.
Yes, exactly.
It's what are they, 2 foot square?
It's a 34.25 inch square.
34 and a quarter. Anyway, these square things, and they're placed as tiles, and they cover the entire roof.
Yes.
And what was the wattage that came out of one square?
So
100 square feet?
each tile puts out 110 watts.
Okay.
And just so we can kind of form a visual for the listeners, it's a square tile, but it's mounted diagonally.
Right.
And they overlap each other like dragon scales.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And they're glossy black. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best looking roof, in my opinion. I absolutely adore that roof. It makes a ton of power because the entire roof is solar.
Yeah.
So, you figure 100 tiles and making 11 kilowatts. It's a lot of power, man.
And a lot of people trim this out with copper, 24 gauge steel, and their pre-finished selective color or something specialty like a special paint finish, to make it look like old barnwood or rusted metal, something like that.
You can do black flashings, you can do copper flashings, and copper on black. That's my favorite.
Very cool.
It's pretty sleek, yes.
Now here's a trick question: how hail resistant are these panels? I mean, we're in Oklahoma.
The Sunstyle panel is a class 4 hail resistant.
No
It's
kidding.
the highest rated.
Wow.
Just like the Northgate shingles.
Yeah. Wow.
It's very durable.
And that class 4, as I recall, a class 4 resistant shingle will withstand a 2-inch steel ball dropped from 20 feet twice in the same spot.
You know your stuff.
I've heard
Well,
of the time or
we've
two.
seen it. Yeah, to put it in real field terms, what we've seen after major hailstorms, baseball and softball size hail is what we've seen it withstand with just a few minor blemishes. Those are both with 70 per mile an hour wind speeds.
And to have a whole roof that way. Now, granted, the vast majority of people are not going to put an entire solar roof on their house, but the solar shingles, either Solstice, and they're just flush with the rest of the roof.
It's an asphalt integrated shingle. So Sunstyle is the top of the line. It is very pricey, of course. If you want the best looking, best thing out there, it gets high dollar.
Yeah.
A nice alternative is the Solstice shingle, which integrates into the asphalt shingle roof. When you're doing a re-roof, you really owe it to yourself to let me do a proposal for you and see what kind of savings you could have with the solar roof. Asphalt shingle roof comes out of your pocket. You pay for it. It's a nice investment, but it costs money. A solar roof pays for itself. Okay, so you will be astonished the amount of savings that you save on a solar roof in 25 years with your electric bill and that roof paying for itself. It's astonishing.
Wow.
Yeah, with what you just said, Johnny, I think most of it is a bet against your own mortality. Just like when you're buying life insurance or anything, that's a long-term investment. Is people have to understand that yes, they're going to be paying into this, or they're going to pay for it one time and then immediately start to see the benefits. But that payback period can be a long one. What's probably been your best reminder to people to help them visualize where they might be in 25 years and how good of an investment this actually is?
Well, so utilities go up every year, about 5%, give or take, sometimes more. Payback period on a solar roof typically is about a dozen to 15 years. And at that point, you're basically making money on the thing. If anywhere solar makes a lot of sense, it's on the roof of the house. And it's any time that you can get away from dependency on utility companies, I think is a good development.
Sure. And there are some roofs out there, I'm guessing a fair share of roofs that could, if they had a full solar roof, generate so much electricity that they would have a surplus, which means that they could sell that back to the grid.
That's exactly right. So
Is that a thing you have seen with some of these proposals?
It is. We have an example up on the wall right now. $145 average utility bill, and after Solstice, his utility bill is on average $13. So in 25 years, if you figure the asphalt shingle roof, the price of the solar, and the utility, he's paying about $80,000. If you figure the asphalt shingle roof and utility with no solar, he's paying something like $120,000.
Oh my goodness.
So the savings is around $40,000 in 25 years that solar roof design. It really, I mean,
That's substantial.
you owe it to your pocketbook to check it out and to give it a chance. Not every roof is capable of it. Not every roof is ideal. But if it is, let's take a look at it and let's make a proposal. Let's see what it does.
Yeah. Well, as I told you earlier, if I were a younger man and building a house, I would look really long and hard at both the Sunstyle and or the Solstice. Because I'm a big believer in all that stuff. I would even go so far as to put a ground source heat pump in it, just because I'm a big believer in that as well.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else about solar? Oh gosh, what was the question I had in my mind? Scotty, you talked about selling back to the grid. Oh,
Yes,
I had asked you earlier, Johnny, about battery backup.
Yes.
Because if you're generating that much, and we all know we get a day or two or three sometimes when it's cloudy and overcast or it's rainy, and so you're not going to get the UV rays to power everything.
Here's something that a lot of people might not realize when it comes to solar. Let's say there's a worst case scenario when the grid goes down. If you do not have batteries or generator, if you just have solar on your roof, your power goes out as well. They cut the solar off from the house and from the grid. That way the solar doesn't power the grid and some lineman gets electrocuted when he's trying to work on the lines.
Okay.
If you have battery backup, you can separate your house from the grid with batteries, and you can be off grid and have power.
Store that energy temporarily while other people don't have it.
But without battery backup, you're not allowed legally to have your solar working while the grid's off.
Got it.
So your power is off as well. So if you want any kind of off-grid, power goes out, safety, backups, batteries are the way to go. Best case scenario, battery with a generator and solar roof all tied together, and they can complement each other.
Well, I guess there's a reason why you're the solar team lead at McRoof, because you seem to know just a whole heck of a lot about this stuff.
Well, they've put me through a lot of training, and I come from an electrical background, 12 volt and car audio and things like that. So
Okay.
I was kind of the natural guy to kind of go this direction.
All right.
Hey, Johnny, I have a quick question quick question, and listeners will understand the relevance of this, because a lot of people may be thinking, why should they investigate Solstice or Sunstyle? Why should they do that? Because the long-standing tradition for people who want to put a solar system on their house is to use a rack and panel system. I could have brought my briefcase solar panel to show them why, and how it attaches if they wanted to attach it to the roof, to help them understand the benefits of not having penetrations in the roof required by a rack and panel system. But is that the main benefit? Not having holes in your roof?
There's a lot of benefits. So the roofer puts on the Solstice shingle, the roofer puts on the shingles. So you've got roofers putting on shingles on their house. They're used to keeping water in their house. Leaks are not a problem. Second thing is, if you have a problem with the solar, it's the same company that did your roof that did your solar.
Right.
You got one phone number to call. You got my number, you got my cell phone number, you call me.
Same manufacturer.
That's what I was going to say.
Wow.
Third thing is, the Certainty makes the shingles, Certainty makes the solar panels. It's one manufacturer's warranty, 25 years, you're good to go. You're covered.
Wow.
So there's some peace of mind.
Yeah, that just came to mind. I remember that right before.
There's
yeah.
some peace of mind using this over a rack and panel system. And let's not forget the fourth thing, it looks way better. It looks way better. There's no comparison. If come to the home show, look, if you're on video, you can kind of see behind Scotty right here. That looks 10, 20, 50 times better than a rack and panel on your shingle on your roof.